We are back on the ML Sports Platter presented by CH Insurance. They are in your corner. Visit chinsurance.cc for all the personal and commercial insurance plan options plus group benefits. Looky here. It is my buddy Boeheim, the former Syracuse hoop star, unreal career. Obviously, we know the lineage and, of course, Boeheim's Army coming up as well. What's going on, buddy? It's great to see you again, man.
Hey, Mike, great seeing you, and thanks for having me on. Always good to talk hoops.
No doubt about it. So I got to thinking about this ahead of the interview. You know, you started way back when, really, in the Syracuse basketball family. Yes, the last name is obviously the dead giveaway, but you were a little boy running around the championship locker room. And then you fast forward, you're playing as a little boy, you're growing your game, you get in, have a fabulous high school career, you go play for dad at Syracuse. I'm sure dream come true, have a really nice career. Even if it stopped now or stopped after the Boeheim's Army thing, at minimum, you're kind of linked forever in the Orange family as, you know, not just the last name thing and dad and all that. You've created your own path. You put the work in. Does that seem cool to you that at minimum you're linked to that? And you're, you know, you could be, I mean, you're still young. We can't call you a basketball legend or great, anytime soon. But you know what I mean? Like at minimum, you're at least that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even to wear the uniform meant the world to me. As a kid, I always said, if I wasn't good enough to play at Syracuse, I would be a manager. I'd be a walk-on, whatever was possible. I just wanted to wear Syracuse orange and blue. And as time went on, the reality of playing at Syracuse became possible. And, to this day, I still tell my parents that I'll be happy whatever happens in my career going forward because I got to play at Syracuse and play for my dad, play with my brother, and in a place that I pretty much grew up in, my second home, really, the Dome. So it was a dream come true. I still look back on those memories, and nothing will ever beat those days.
You know, there is a lot of pressure though. I mean, when you're the hometown guy and you are Jim Boeheim's son, I mean, there's a lot that goes with that. You know, if you think about a guy like Joe Mauer, right, who went into the Baseball Hall of Fame as a first ballot guy, he grew up in Minnesota, played high school, multiple, sports, Sports Illustrated covers, the whole thing. He's a number one pick, and all he did was go to the Hall of Fame on the first ballot. No big deal. So did you feel that though? Like, I mean, every time you go out, it was at the Dome now. It's not in high school. Your buddy Boeheim, your, expectations, fans show up. They're like, dude, better go 6 for 8 from 3 or else. I mean, did you feel that?
Yeah, definitely. I think more so early on, actually. I think it was proving myself at first that I could play at Syracuse. And I remember early on I struggled and wasn't quite ready for that level of play at that stage. And, I couldn't really go on social media. I didn't go out in public much. I really went to practice and I went home and then would go to the games and just said I would get through it eventually. And, there's doubts in those moments, but once I proved myself like I felt I did at the end of that season in ACC play and in the tournament, I thought that kind of gave me a lot of confidence going forward. And then the next couple of years, there was, higher level, higher standards. And yeah, I think it was more of a privilege than anything having those standards instead of, oh, he's just there because his dad. It's, oh, now he's got to be a all ACC player. He's got to, be a really good player. So that was more of an honor than anything, but it definitely was a lot at first. I think it shocked me a little. And I think it's showed me how great Syracuse fans are, though, and how much they're passionate about basketball. And it really helped me a lot as a player in person grow to, be who I wanted to be.
Buddy Boeheim here on the platter, of course, brought to you by CH Insurance. I'd love to ask you, when did you first fall in love with the game? I mean, come on, it was when you were a really little boy and you had all those battles with Jimmy. And
Yep.
I mean, but through the years, though, I mean, you guys have that big gym at home, right? So, I mean, did mom and dad have to come down and call you up for dinner? Did they ever walk in on you guys brawling? I mean, like, what was the yes to all? Seriously?
All of them, yes. Everything was basketball when I was 3 years old. We had VCRs in my parents' room in the closet, and
VCRs.
I watched there was about 150 games in there, and I watched all of them when I was 5 years old, and could tell them what happened in each game, and if it was a certain year, it was a certain game we lost, say in the tournament or whatnot, I would never watch it again, and I'd watch that game once, and I would probably cry watching it in my parents' room, just reliving it. And then I watched the national championship game probably 10, 12 times until I was eight to 10. So that
Really?
started then. That was my first love, was just putting it in my parents' room and watching. I'd watch 8 hours of games when I was 4 years old. So that
Great.
kind of started it all. And they would just say, they would put me in my parents' room and just set up some games, and I'd be good for the day. So that's how I spent a lot of my weekends as a kid. And then
Wow.
just
Wow.
playing, we had a playroom, and my dad would referee me and my brother's games, and we would yell at him if he missed a call or if he didn't do anything, and it always ended in a brawl. It always ended in Jimmy beating me because he was bigger at the time and he was extremely competitive, and I think that helped me a lot going forward. But in the moment, it definitely ended in tears and fights, and my mom dreaded it when she saw us go back there. So that led into that, and then getting the court when we got into high school was the greatest thing ever. I think I was in there 3-4 times a day. My mom was telling me to take it easy, and I just wanted to be in the gym all day.
So your dad was pretty hard on the refs too, So you could give it to him, and then he'd be like,
Yeah.
"Oh man, maybe I should lighten up a little bit here." But now, did he ever? No, he didn't do that. No, we wouldn't even go down that road. What I was curious about though is you're a great shooter. You have to shoot all the time to be a great shooter. You have to putt all the time to be a great putter.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how this goes. You can take 2,000-3,000 shots, but it's that one. So did you automatically want to be kind of a shooter, a perimeter player? Did you look at somebody like a Steph Curry and go, man, that kind of a guy? I mean, did you try to emulate somebody, the shot, the stroke, the practice? How did it all come together for you mentally to say, like, I am a shooter. I want to be a shooter. Did that happen?
So it happened over time. When I was younger, I was probably 8 to 10. I would shoot it over my head like this to get some power on it from
Bill
three, and they call
Cartwright.
it. Yep, they called it the buddy shot. But yeah, it was a over the head shot. And one day my dad just came up to me and said, "We got to fix this. You can't keep shooting like this." And he took me in the gym at the time and kind of just gave me some quick pointers. And ever since then, I remember just obsessing with that form shooting and having the perfect shot. And then as time went on, eventually 13 or 14, Klay Thompson became my favorite player. And so I watched him with my dad stay up at night till 12 watching them play on the West Coast. And that's kind of who I wanted to be like ever since I was probably 14 or 15. And that's when I really wanted to become a really good shooter. And yeah, that's kind of how it all happened. But it started when I was young, and I had to change my whole shot around. But ever since probably 12 or 13, I had similar mechanics and just worked on perfecting them.
I'm sure that you can tell that time goes awfully fast. I mean, here you are.
Too
You're
fast.
an adult now. You're on the Boeheim's Army Club. You bounced around in your professional career a little bit. Your Cuse career is over. Your dad's not coaching anymore, which a lot of us thought maybe we wouldn't ever see that day. Um, Carmelo Anthony, is now speaking at graduation, right? And he's been out of Syracuse for 20, 2 years. This Boeheim's Army team, it all comes full circle because there's different pockets of Syracuse lore and history. Now you're teammates with a lot of these guys. Put your analyst hat on. And as you talk, I'm trying to figure out if Buddy's going to be a coach someday or a media star, by the way, for the audience out there. Maybe both. I mean, your dad ended up doing both for a guy I mean, the media, hey, Jim, if you're listening and watching, the media is not bad. We're not bad people. You're media now.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but take me inside the Boeheim's Army behind the curtain a little bit. I got one more after this. I know I said
Yeah.
8 to 10 minutes, but I'm going to
No
hold you a little bit
worries.
if you don't mind.
No
But the
worries.
Boeheim's Army team, break it down a little bit. The roster, how
Yeah.
do you like it here a little bit? I know Jimmy's going to be involved too now, right?
Right. Yeah. So I think when I was a freshman and sophomore in college, Cuse going to the Boeheim's Army game, watching Devo do his thing and how fired up they would get. And I just remember the first time at SRC, it was 4,000 people. It felt like a Syracuse basketball game. And I remember that watching that and thinking, man, one day, hopefully I'll be lucky enough to play in this. And, fast forward, 7 years that flew by, and I can't believe I'm in this position now, and
Mm-hmm.
that's already here. But I get to play in this, and I think it worked out perfectly to have this opportunity to play with Jimmy, to play at OCC again, to have hopefully Elijah Hughes and Chris McCullough and older Cuse guys, hopefully Rock too, that I grew up watching in high school and middle school. And I think it's a really good group we're getting together. I'm trying to get some outside guys that I've played with in the G League the last couple years. I'm looking around, and there's some really good talent out there. So we're trying to get a full roster of as many Cuse guys as we can get, and obviously looking for some outside talent too where we need it. But to be able to do this is special. I think I'm most excited just to play in front of Syracuse fans again. It's they're the best fans in the country. Whenever I've been in Maine, I've been in Sioux Falls, I've been in Iowa for the G League, and there's a Syracuse jersey at those games, and it just amazes me that they're everywhere, and there's nowhere else I'd rather be playing this summer than in OCC in Syracuse.
Well, we all obviously love watching you play and shoot, and we're all looking forward to it. And you're a class act. I mean, you're humble, and listen, you've done a lot of it on your own, and I kind of look at it as the NFL quarterback, right? Like, you've got to do your part, and then the other part, if you have a support system, and goodness gracious, the house that you grew up in was a pretty good support system. But you deserve a lot of credit because you have done a lot on your own, and you can go off on your path and make your own decisions too, and you've made good ones. So we all have watched you, and I think we're all very proud of you, and we've really enjoyed watching your game. My last question for you though is this: if you're putting together a highlight tape just for fun that you can play at your wedding someday, that you can play at your, I don't know, maybe your retirement party after you're done coaching and end up in the Hall of Fame with your dad, wherever you are, right? Maybe your bachelor party, wherever that's going to be a highlight tape of your basketball career. What's the first highlight? What's the last highlight?
Wow, that's a really good question.
Maybe the first highlight is just you running around like an animal as a youngster in the locker room, right?
Yeah. I think that the video of Melo after they won it, that's like the best one I got that when I was in college, and I was like, how have I not seen this before? I couldn't believe it. It's like my favorite video.
It's insane, right? When you see yourself running around in there, it's nuts.
That's crazy. I couldn't believe it. It really took me a while to just realize like that was me as a 4-year-old. So
yeah. And Jimmy's raising hell in there too, isn't he? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Jimmy was, he got to go on all the trips then. So he was, you guys were familiar with him since he was 4 or 5 too. So he was there. But
all right. So we're going to start with that. Yeah. I thought it might have been like a Nerf hoop jamming at home, and like your mom got mad because you broke something in the house or something. But we'll start with the running around in the locker room. What's the end one? Is it a 3-pointer from, somewhere near where like Pearl shot, the half court shot or something?
I think it have to be a 3-pointer. If there's one I really remember, it's probably there was one at the end of the shot clock against San Diego State in the tournament.
I was going to kind of.
So that was probably one of the better ones I've had. So I'd say that's a good one to wrap it up with.
All right, very cool. Well, we're looking forward to the Boeheim's Army. It's our guy, Buddy Boeheim, right here on the ML Sports Platter, brought to you by CH Insurance, and CH Insurance is in your corner. Check out all of their insurance plans and more at chinsurance.cc, a proud Platter title sponsor. Buddy Boeheim, great to see you again, and hey, let's catch up this summer. Thanks for the time.
Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing you this summer. Thanks again.